This is the Supreme Court of New Zealand. These walls house the final stage for legal disputes that have exhausted every other avenue. Jeremy McGuire has brought a nearly $40,000 tax dispute here, hoping to overturn a series of lower court losses. The case centers on an internal investigation by the Commissioner's Disputes Review Unit, or DRU, which looked into McGuire's tax liability. During the proceedings, a specific detail is established. The DRU found McGuire's actual liability was lower than the amount ultimately assessed. This creates direct friction. If the government's own experts reached a lower figure, the higher assessment becomes the core dispute. The question is whether an internal government finding can legally override a finalized tax bill. The Commissioner's position is that the DRU is purely an internal administrative procedure. It is not a judicial body. To prove this, Inland Revenue points to the Supreme Court's ruling in Tannadyce. Tannadyce established that the DRU process exists outside the binding requirements of the Tax Administration Act. It is a set of guidelines, not a statutory mandate. Consequently, the Commissioner retains authority to depart from a DRU finding and amend an assessment as they see fit. An internal report like this offers no protection against the Commissioner's overarching legal power to set the final tax amount. McGuire's legal standing further eroded when he attempted to challenge the assessment through standard judicial review, rather than the specific tax dispute regime. This bypass triggered Section 109 of the Tax Administration Act 1994. Section 109 dictates that an assessment can only be challenged through the designated statutory process. It effectively bars the courts from considering the merits of an assessment through other legal avenues. Because McGuire ignored that specific pathway, the district court ruled it had no jurisdiction to hear his case at all. Without jurisdiction to hear a defense, the court entered judgment against McGuire for the full unpaid tax of $39,763.48. In tax law, failing to follow the correct procedure doesn't just weaken a case, it removes the court's power to intervene. The matter then escalated to the High Court of New Zealand. But the record reveals that after the initial district court ruling, McGuire signed a formal deed of settlement with the Commissioner. In that deed, McGuire agreed in writing that he, quote, will have an amount of tax payable. Despite signing this agreement, McGuire still attempted to seek judicial review of the earlier district court decision. The High Court struck out the application, finding that the terms of the signed deed left no room for his ongoing argument. The ruling underscores that a settlement brings the dispute to a legal conclusion. You cannot agree to a debt in a contract and then ask a court to let you continue fighting it. This history of procedural failures followed McGuire all the way to his final appeal. At this stage, he is attempting to rely on the DRU report as a primary defense for the first time. But because he did not include the report in his initial judicial review application, he cannot introduce it now. The court does not allow new foundations for an appeal at the end of the litigation. The Supreme Court's verdict is final. The application for leave to appeal is dismissed. The case is an inappropriate vehicle for the argument. The case proves that in tax law, the statutory record is absolute. If you bypass the formal dispute process and sign a settlement, the courts have no legal.
Looking closely at how the disputes